The scientific and philosophical critique of the concept of infinity. The concept of infinity is one of the most debated and intriguing ideas in human thought, both scientifically and philosophically. Infinity is a perplexing notion that transcends the boundaries of human comprehension, challenging the very principles the human mind relies on to understand the world. While this concept is employed in mathematics and physics to describe certain phenomena or notions, accepting it as a factual reality raises significant questions. This article aims to critically examine the concept of infinity from scientific and philosophical perspectives, shedding light on its complexities, exploring its compatibility with reality, and citing the statements of scientists and philosophers who have analyzed this concept critically. First, the concept of infinity in human thought. Infinity is defined as the absence of boundaries or limits, denoting an endless and uninterrupted continuation. Despite the simplicity of the definition, the applications of infinity in science and philosophy open a vast arena for inquiry. In mathematics, infinity is used to represent unbounded quantities, such as numbers or distances. In philosophy, infinity pertains to profound questions about the universe, existence, and time. Yet, the pressing question remains: is infinity an objective reality applicable to existence, or is it merely a mental construct with no real-world basis? The philosopher Immanuel Kant discussed infinity within the framework of time and space, arguing that the human mind can only conceive of this concept hypothetically, as the reality we experience is subject to finite temporal and spatial boundaries. Second, the scientific critique of infinity. Science, by nature, relies on observation, experimentation, and measurement, tools that are not easily aligned with the concept of infinity. Consequently, many scientists have expressed reservations about considering infinity a scientific fact. 1. The physical boundaries of the universe. Modern cosmology suggests that the universe has defined properties, such as its age and size. While some theories discuss an infinite universe, this idea remains highly controversial. Physicist Stephen Hawking stated, "The idea of an infinite universe faces a fundamental problem. It cannot be verified. Science depends on experimentation, and one cannot test what is boundless." 2. The impossibility of infinite energy and matter. Fundamental laws in physics, such as the law of conservation of energy, indicate that matter and energy cannot be infinite. This contradicts the notion that the universe could contain infinite quantities of either. 3. The problem of infinity in scientific calculations. When infinity appears in scientific equations, it often signals an error or a deficiency in the model. Physicist Richard Feynman remarked, "When we encounter infinity in our equations, we recognize the need for a better model to explain the phenomenon." Third, the philosophical critique of infinity. Unlike science, philosophy does not rely on sensory experience, but rather on intellectual reasoning and logic. For this reason, infinity has been a central topic in philosophical debate for centuries. 1. Philosophical paradoxes associated with infinity. The Greek philosopher Zeno of Elea introduced several paradoxes, illustrating the impossibility of dealing with the concept of infinity. One of his most famous paradoxes, the arrow paradox, argues that a moving arrow cannot reach its target if the distance between it and the target is infinitely divisible. These paradoxes demonstrate that infinity causes logical contradictions when applied to reality. 2. The impossibility of infinite time and space. Philosopher Bertrand Russell discussed the impossibility of an actual infinite timeline, arguing that if time were infinite, we could never arrive at the present. This illustrates the contradictions arising when infinity is treated as an existential reality. 3. Infinity and causality. Causality, which forms the foundation of rational and scientific thought, conflicts with infinity. If we assume an infinite chain of causes, there would be no initial cause, rendering our existence unjustifiable. Philosopher Gottfried Leibniz highlighted this issue, stating, "If there is no beginning to events, there can be no logical explanation for our existence." Fourth, applications of infinity and its impact on human thought. Despite the scientific and philosophical critique, the concept of infinity has found its way into various fields of thought and inquiry. 1. Infinity in mathematics. Mathematics is perhaps the only domain where infinity is accepted as a theoretical concept. It is employed in calculus and set theory to simplify understanding. However, even mathematicians acknowledge that this infinity does not reflect reality, but serves as a conceptual tool. 2. Infinity in religious philosophy. In some religious philosophies, infinity is used to describe divine perfection. However, this usage differs fundamentally from physical or temporal infinity, as it does not apply to the finite created world. 3. The impact of infinity on modern science. Certain scientific theories, such as the multiverse theory, rely on the concept of infinity. Yet, these theories often face criticism for lacking empirical evidence. 5th, statements by scientists and philosophers on the concept of infinity. Albert Einstein. Infinity is an intriguing idea, but it cannot be part of a real-world system governed by laws. Aristotle. The human mind cannot fully grasp infinity, as it surpasses the limits of comprehension. David Hume. The idea of infinity carries inherent logical contradictions, making it inapplicable to reality. Conclusion. The concept of infinity remains one of the most complex and debated ideas in human thought. While it is utilized in mathematics and some scientific theories, the scientific and philosophical critique highlights its impossibility as a tangible reality. The world we live in appears to be governed by boundaries and finiteness, making infinity a mental abstraction rather than a physical truth. Reflecting on this idea allows us to recognize the limitations of human intellect and the need for humility in the face of the universe and its creator. As philosopher Immanuel Kant stated, "The boundaries we encounter in thought are not evidence of our weakness, but a testament to the grandeur of a mind striving to comprehend the infinite." If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel to get our latest videos.